Good morning, Northwest Oklahoma. This is Joe Parsons, Morning Radio on KALV. Joining me is my guest and co-host Terry Parsons. How are you doing this morning, Terry?
I'm great. Good morning, Joe.
Well, this morning there's a few different things I want to talk about. Just some interesting topics. Starting off with a little bit about just some history tidbits and information on Alva. Um, Anybody who knows me knows that I am kind of a little bit of a history buff, and Alva is a very interesting place, and it does have a rich history. Um, Starting out with the kind of what started Alva, and it'll give us a little information here. Alva was founded um, during kind of the land run era. The official date of Alva being founded was September 16th, 1893. And like I said, around the land run, 100,000 people raced for 6 million acres of land. And then Alva was set up as a land office and a railhead as the last stop on the Southern Kansas Railway, the Santa Fe line. Talking to local historians, there's not necessarily 100% sure of where Alva gets its name, but it's often thought that Alva was named after Alva Adams, who was a Colorado politician who was tied to the railroad company that kind of set up Alva. Um, Early Alva, think of the first day of Alva, Oklahoma, what it looked like was a tent city practically, full of opportunity seekers that fastly grew with saloons, banks, livery stables. All those things popped up quickly. Within a few months, newspapers like the Alva Review Courier and churches emerged, and people came for land and stayed and built a life here. And I know there's still a lot of people in Alva whose family settled here many, many years ago. A fun fact for you is Alva was designated by the federal government to be an official land office that gave it an edge over neighboring towns. Um, Something else that gave Alva a little bit of a better chance for economic prosperity than some of the other small towns in Woods County is the Northwestern Territorial Normal School, which was created in 1897 to train teachers for Oklahoma Territory, and then it became Northwestern Oklahoma State University over time. Um, One of the most prominent buildings in Northwest Oklahoma was located at the Normal School, and that was the Castle on the Hill. If you've never seen photographs of the Castle on the Hill, that's something that I recommend you go to the museum or even Google. It's a very famous building. Unfortunately, like many great buildings, that building did burn down in 1935 and was replaced with a more modern campus building. But I mean, talk about architecture. I can only imagine in the early 1900s seeing a castle in Alva and how neat that must have been. Um, Alva, Oklahoma is the county seat for Woods County, and the original county courthouse, which is painted on a mural on the west side of the courthouse, was completed in 1904, and it was torn down, and the modern day courthouse was built there, I believe, in the mid to late 60s. Um, you know, Alva was a when Alva started with the courthouse and the university being two big things that brought people here. Alva developed a downtown square, and the square is kind of a unique thing to Alva. Not a whole lot of communities have downtown squares. It's more often, for example, if you go through, say, Cherokee or Waynoka, it's not as much of a square, more as just one or two main streets of commercial buildings. Alva Square is unique, and information from the Oklahoma State Office of Preservation actually says that Alva has one of the most complete historic downtowns, meaning that the buildings downtown, the percentage of them that are original to the square, we have a very high percentage of buildings that are original downtown buildings, which is something really neat. Um, the Oklahoma Territory was notorious for outlaws, and there's Alva's had its fair share of stories of the old time Western criminals and outlaws. The Doolin Dalton gang operated nearby, and they were known for bank and train robberies. U.S. Marshals like Heck Thomas and Bill Tillman pursued them across the plains. And Alva wasn't a lawless town, but uh, nearby areas were trouble spots, and it's kind of funny to think about that. How says Alva wasn't a lawless town, but there was nearby areas. It still kind of stands today, with Alva being, I believe, the only town really in the county to have a full-time police department. And of course, there is sheriffs that cover the whole county, and we appreciate them. But after statehood, which was in 1907, which Alva is actually quite a bit older than the state of Oklahoma, Alva became part of a more organized legal system. And, there's history too that I know has been talked about. The Museum of Prohibition and bootlegging in the early 1900s was also part of local Alva drama back then. And if you go to the cemetery, some of the oldest tombstones up there actually served as were used during Prohibition to hide different types of alcohol. Um, you know, One other thing that Alva is well known for to local historians all over is being a prisoner of war camp. And the Alva Regional Airport, the city's airport, um, outside of town was originally the German prisoner of war camp and Camp Alva. And due to our geographical location, it was known as where they kept the worst of the prisoner of war. So it was known that Camp Alva was far from any coast. It would take them a little bit to get out of the country or get to the coast, and that's why one of the reasons Alva was selected to hold the prisoner of war camp. As far as history on the prisoner of war camp and everything we're talking about today, you can go see our friends at the Cherokee Strip Museum, which is a wonderful facility. It is originally used to be the hospital for Alva, and after it closed, when the Sheriff Medical Center was built, it was turned into a museum, and it is absolutely great. We could do a whole show just talking about one room in there. I mean, there's all types of stuff at the museum, and we'll talk a little bit more about the museum here in a bit. But there is still one building standing at the old prisoner of war camp, and it is the old officers club that was turned into the VFW, and it held many restaurants and bars, and it has fallen into a dilapidated state, and eventually I think the building will probably have to be torn down, which is sad to lose the only building, but due to limited funds available, it's something that's just has not been taken care of like it should have been. There's also still a smokestack out there, and then one of the water towers, but it's a really neat place to visit and see. And like I said, the museum has videos and different photos of what it used to look like. And then at the 818 Diner, we have some photos and some different information, and really a little bit about everything about Alva on the walls. We often hear that it's like a little museum, and that's kind of our goal to show off some of Alva's history at the diner, which is my family's business. So if you're ever looking for some Alva history or something to do, I recommend that you check us out and see the different things on the wall. You'll always see something different every time you come in. So that's a little bit about some of the interesting pieces of early Alva history. Um, now, talking a little bit about more modern Alva, the museum is really tells the story of Alva well. Um, we are very fortunate here in Alva to have the historical buildings that we do and the ones that have been preserved greatly. I know people come to Alva sometimes just to view some of our historic buildings. Across from the middle school is a well-known house that's actually listed for sale of one of the early mansions, and I don't have the full story on it, but and then also the very famous McClure Mansion or the Nichols Mansion is those are two of Alva's very prominent houses that we are lucky to have still standing that people like to drive by and admire those properties, and then of course the downtown square with buildings there that date back to before statehood, and then the university still has multiple historical buildings on campus. One building in Alva that has been added to the um, historical registry is the original 1939 WPA swimming pool bathhouse. If that's something I talk about almost every week is the swimming pool because it's something we're very proud of here in Alva that we have a brand new swimming pool. If you haven't got out and swim, I recommend it. It costs $3 for students and $5 for adults, and it is a beautiful facility. I was there swimming this past weekend, and guys, it is absolutely incredible. Um, but that building is actually on the historic registry, and that's something when the city was doing a new swimming pool, it was very important that we were able to preserve as much history there as possible. And I know there is a classroom there, and as they continue to work on that, they plan to have a little area dedicated to the pool's history with pictures from many years ago, from up to modern day of the pool and a collage. Make sure to go there and check that out once that's completed. Um, Something else that brings me to that I'm straying a little bit on is I do want to talk about the Alva pool. Is this year from the time that the pool has opened, um, it's been completely free for students and kids. And the reason that it has been is the generosity of our local community. Uh, Originally started by Bankit, which is a local nonprofit here in Alva. They stepped up and said they would pay for the first 1,000 kids to get in free to the swimming pool, and that lasted about a week. But since then, there's been multiple other people step up and offer to pay the way for some of Alva's students. I want to talk a little bit about them and give them a little bit of a shout out. Alva State Bank um, was kind enough to sponsor the first 100 kids every Saturday in July, and then Wendy Ford sponsored 500 kids. The Klein family sponsored 200 kids swim free on the 4th of July. So on the 4th of July, um, there was a 200 kids got to swim free courtesy of the Klein family. Meyer family sponsored 50 kids. Bratz Menagerie sponsored 100 kids. Um, and then Star Lumber sponsored 100 kids. There's an anonymous donor who sponsored 70 kids, and Emerald K Properties sponsored 100 kids. So
What a
it,
giving community we
it,
have.
it is great, absolutely, that people have stepped up and sponsored. So it's my understanding that since the pool's been open, no kid has had to pay. So that is absolutely incredible, and we are very thankful for those local businesses and community members that have stepped up and done that, and it shows a lot about Alva. The pool is absolutely incredible too. That the amount of money that was donated to have a swimming pool by private entities is very unusual for over $6 million project to be able to be completed without a tax to go along with it to the citizens. So that's something I always like to talk about and talk about how lucky Alva is. And guys, if you're just tuning in, this is KALV Morning Radio, and talking a little bit about the history of Alva and how Alva is just a great place to live. I want to take a quick weather break. Currently in Alva, it's 71 and cloudy with a low of 70 degrees and a high of 91 degrees. It looks like it's going to be cloudy most of the morning with the sun coming out about 12 p.m. So expect sunny conditions from 12 p.m. till 6 p.m. with partly cloudy conditions expected around 6 p.m. again. So it's going to be a pretty nice day, guys. Recommend great day to get outside this afternoon with the high big 91 degrees, which it looks like we're going to reach that right around 5 p.m. So pretty nice day for July. You got sunset today at 8:56 p.m. So looks like it's going to be a nice day. Overall, going to be a nice week, reaching into the triple digits on Thursday with a 100-degree high. But besides that, it looks like we have a nice week. This Saturday, we do have a 55% chance of thunderstorms, so do be aware of that. Guys, we're going to take a short commercial break, and I'll be back here with some more radio. And we are back. Like if you're just tuning in, this is Joe Parsons Morning Radio, talking a little bit about Alva and what's going on in Alva, and just some information on Alva's history is kind of our topic. And as we continue on the show, we're going to talk a little bit about the art and culture that's here in Alva. Um, but I do want to welcome my guest and co-host who's been awfully quiet this morning, my wonderful mother Terry Parsons, who comes and sits up here with me whenever I'm not able to find a show. So I want to give her a chance to. She's also the owner operator 818 Diner, a local diner here in town, who's one of our generous radio station sponsors. So want to give her a chance to talk about the diner a little bit this morning. So Terry, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you, Joe?
I'm doing good. Um, I just want to give you a chance to talk a little bit about the 818 Diner. If you want to tell me a little bit about it, I know you talked about it in the past, but they are one of our generous sponsors, and as we're talking about the history of Alva, that's something um, that's a great place to go eat, go enjoy the food, and enjoy the um, community spirit and the atmosphere there with all the history that aligns the walls. But if you want to talk a little bit about some of your favorite food items there, and just give me some information about the diner, phone number, hours, stuff like that.
Well, Joe, the diner is open 6 days a week. It's open 3 evenings, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday in the evening. And then it's open Wednesday through Monday from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. Um, when we opened, the plan was just to be open breakfast and lunch. And I'd always have the evenings off, and we'd have plenty of time to do family things. And then, of course, during COVID, we had to do something to make some more money to not have to let go of any of our staff. And so we decided to be open a few evenings a week. Um, when we opened the diner, it was we spent a lot of time searching and creating recipes. And one of my favorite items is the chicken fried steak, which we get our steaks from our chicken fried steaks from Wittets and here in town, and they do an excellent job. It was very important for me. It was important to me and for our family for it to be a tender, delicious chicken fry, very similar to the ones I used to get at my favorite restaurant growing up, which would have been Ann's Chicken Fry in Oklahoma City. Ann's is one of those places we lost to COVID. It's no longer open, but have a lot of great memories of going there with my parents and my grandparents, and the food was always delicious. Um, so, anyway, we have a lot of other different things. We have a lot of our things are homemade, hand breaded, and come in and check it out. If you ever have a problem, make sure to let someone know. We like to take care of it right away, and we don't have too many problems there. I have a great staff there. I always hear about how wonderful our staff is, and I have a lot of great customers. A lot of regulars come in every day. Surprising how many people come in daily or 2 or 3 times a week. Um, Want to give a little shout out to one of our customers, Clark Schultz, and his lovely wife Shirley. They have some property outside of town, and they have allowed us to go out and pick sand plums. So shout out to them, and hopefully we'll go out there today and be able to make some sand plum jelly later.
Yes, absolutely. That's something we've been doing for a little bit. We've been out there once already and made some sand plum jelly. And if you're not familiar with what a sand plum is, it is a native plum that grows wildly in northwest Oklahoma, and it's makes a wonderful jelly. It's known for its tartness, and it's a great jelly. And yeah, Clark and Shirley, great folks that do let us go out there and pick some sand plums. That's something Terry and I were talking about actually. Is our plan for later today is to go pick some sand plums and hopefully make some jelly, and um, possibly if we make enough, that might be available at 8189, or whether it's on a special or something. I don't know. I'd like to see us find a way to incorporate that into an item. And but yeah, I great folks there, and we do have a lot of great customers at the diner. And as she talks about, and I'm sure some of our listeners here are customers, and we appreciate each and every one of you. If you have never been, I recommend you stop by. Um, some of our really popular items are the Joe's chicken strips and the Terry's chicken fried steak. So something else that makes the diner a little bit unique to maybe some other um, places is our commitment to using local and Oklahoma produced products. 818 Diner is, to my knowledge, the only made in Oklahoma designated restaurant in Alva, which is a designation that you get through the Made in Oklahoma Coalition. And to get that designation, you have to use a certain percentage of products that are made in Oklahoma. Um, like I said, we are proudly a Made in Oklahoma restaurant using many items that are made in Oklahoma, from our pancake mix to our barbecue sauce and a little bit of everything. So that's something that we're proud of there. The other thing that we're very proud to serve is Whittit's hamburger and chicken fried steaks. They're delivered fresh daily, never frozen hamburger, fresh hamburger, and same thing with the chicken fried steak. So Whittit's Meat Market here in Alba does an absolutely wonderful job. It's not uncommon for us to hear this is the best chicken fried steak I've ever had, and we couldn't do that without our partnership with them and them providing us with wonderful, wonderful beef. So we want to give them a thank you and recommend that you check them out. They're located on the boulevard right by the Tidal Wave Car Wash, and they've been in business for many years. In fact, I think they are a third generation business here in Northwest Oklahoma. So we want to thank them and invite you guys to come eat at the 818 Diner located at 818 Oklahoma Boulevard here in Alva. Open every day but Tuesday, 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., and open Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. as well. Today, our special is chicken fried chicken. It's kind of known there as Monday Chicken Fried Chicken. So stop by and have a hand breaded, delicious chicken fried chicken served with mashed potatoes and gravy and a vegetable of the day. So I will now want to talk a little bit about the art and culture in Northwest Oklahoma, and Alva specifically. Alva is fortunate that we do have a wonderful university here that does bring a lot to art and culture of the community. Um, there's always things going on at the university as far as cultural and artistic events, whether it being an art show or a concert or a play. I know here within the last year, the Alva Presbyterian Church has actually donated their facility to the university to have as a performing arts center, and that's located on 7th Street on the corner of 7th and Church. And a really beautiful church, and it just wasn't being utilized to its full extent, they felt, so they wanted it to be more of a benefit to the community, and so they donated that facility to the university, and they've held numerous concerts there since it has become a university art center there. The other thing the university has is the concert series, where they bring in different concerts, and I want to say a lot of times there's information on that on Facebook, and then they have a wonderful theater program that does some wonderful productions. So if you're looking for something to do, I recommend you check out. They have a website, the university, and of course a Facebook page where they keep the community updated with what's going on there. The other thing Alva is very fortunate to have that I participated in, I'm actually a board member of, is the Alva Community Theater. Um, and they put on community productions. It's located downtown on the north side of the square, and it is a wonderful community theater. They do adult programs and children's programs. Their last play, just a few weeks ago, was their summer children's program, and that is led by, I believe, Delaney Lambert. The children's program is, and then the adult plays are led by Michelle Penner. Both those ladies do a great job. So if you're interested in getting involved in community theater, definitely check out Act One on Facebook, which stands for Alva Community Theater. The theater has been around for around 50 years, and they are going strong. Um, it's a great place to for students to learn about theater, and not only theater, just public speaking as a whole, and performing. I recommend all students, all kids get involved in that. Um, Even if you don't believe your kid's going to be an acting star, it is a great way for them to get more comfortable on stage and get more comfortable with public speaking. Alva also has the Graceful Arts, which is a art studio and gallery that has a rotating displays from different artists here, from local people, from people that are known nation and worldwide. It is a great place that also has different classes for adults and kids. And in a small community of 5,000 people, we are very, very fortunate to have such a nice art studio and gallery there, um, which is on the south side of the square, kind of by Holder Drug. So I definitely recommend checking them out. They do post on Facebook whenever they're having different classes. I know they do after school programs and all different types of stuff for kids there. So a great place, and always have different stuff. They have a first Friday um, art walk, which this past month I think it was actually on Thursday, but the next first Friday art walk will be the first Friday of August. So it's a great time to see what exhibits they have and walk around the square where businesses open up late, and there is all different types of stuff going on. And then Alva also has another art gallery, which I'll let Terry talk a little bit about, um, which is the Old Man's Art Gallery, the Bell Hotel, which is art gallery that showcases Warren Little's art, who's a local artist, and it's a place we always like to stop in. In fact, when we're walking the dog, sometimes our dog loves to go to the Old Man's Art Gallery. So, Terry, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, Warren Little is Alva staple. He's a man that's you can go probably anywhere within a 60-mile radius and see a couple of napkin drawings in great detail at different restaurants and businesses. He always has his art supplies with him, and I would say, well, he has a gallery downtown on the square, and it's open first Friday, usually on first Friday, and then other times by appointment. He draws mostly people, I believe, but he has drawn some other things. I think the 818 Diner probably has the second largest collection of Warren Little's artwork. We have not only napkin drawings, we have wood burnings and some actual art that's not on napkins. And we have many pictures of our customers. When he comes in the diner, he will often draw a picture of he'll look over and he'll see someone and he'll draw a picture of them and he'll let them have it and take it home. At my house, I have a picture of Joe on my refrigerator that's drawn on a napkin. It's very detailed, and it has it's one of the newer ones of him with his beard, and it looks great. We Warren comes in frequently to the diner. He and his wife Bev she also comes in, but we always get a kick out of whatever Warren's drawing. So come in and check it out. We have pictures all over the diner that he's drawn, and if you're downtown on the square, sometimes you'll catch him open, and he's got a lot of great pictures in his office as well, or in his art gallery as well.
Yes, and Warren is quite the character, and you never know when he's going to draw you. It's often that he'll draw people he doesn't even know on napkins, and when he's done eating, he'll take them the napkin, and they always get a kick out of it. Um, Something else Alva has is we are self-proclaimed mural capital of Oklahoma, and the murals started in the early 1990s by the Alva Mural Society, which is a volunteer group committed to beautifying the town and preserving local history through art. They're located primarily around the downtown Alva near the courthouse square, but they can be seen all around town. Um, Many of the murals are painted directly on brick buildings, and some um, date back quite a while. I know they've been working on updating some of the oldest murals. Um, the purpose and mission of the Alva Mural Society is to preserve and promote Alva's rich history through visual storytelling, and to revitalize the downtown area and draw tourism to create community pride, and they do a really good job. I want to tell a little bit about some of the murals. Some of my favorite murals is number one is the Pioneers and Settlers mural, which is on the south side of the Hopeton Church Extreme building downtown. Um, Also, which is the Alva Nails building, which depicts the Cherokee Outlet Land Run of 1893. That has homesteaders arriving with wagons, tools, and dreams. Um, and then there is a railroad mural, which is on the Elegant Toad thrift store that has the Santa Fe train station and which kind of shows the birth of Alva as a railhead town. And then there's several ranching and agricultural murals around town. Then education, there's murals on the Terracotta Place, formerly known as the Downtown Mall, that has some different pictures of the university, and then as well as the Castle on the Hill, which we talked a little bit about earlier, mural that is on the Alva Chamber of Commerce building. In the past 3 or 4 years, there's been a little shift of focus on the murals from historical murals to bright, colorful, fun murals, and those can be seen co-op building on the building there on the corner of Fourth and Flynn, and then on City Hall as well. So those are some of the newest murals that are more modern, less historic, and it's nice that Alva has a mix of um, different murals that are catered to people of different tastes. Definitely, it's a Alva does have a self-guided mural walking tour. Maps and brochures are available at the Cherokee Strip Museum, the Graceful Arts Gallery, and the Visitor Center, which is the Chamber of Commerce building on the boulevard. So definitely something to check out, and something that I know brings people to town occasionally, and gives someone people stuff to look at when they do visit Alva. So something that is definitely neat here in town. If you guys are just tuning in, this is Joe Parsons Morning Radio on KALV, talking a little bit about arts and culture in Northwest Oklahoma and Alva, about the murals and some of the different art facilities we have here. Um, Want to break in and do another little weather update for you this morning. It's 72 and cloudy currently here in Alva with a high of 91 and a low of 70 degrees. Um, Today it looks like it's going to be a pretty nice day. This week's going to be a nice week, a little bit warmer with temperatures reaching the triple digits, and on Thursday with a high of 100 degrees. So make sure to stay cool and drink plenty of water and stay hydrated. This Saturday, it does look like we do have a 55% chance of thunderstorms. So make sure you are weather aware as you're making your weekend plans. So I am going to go to a quick commercial break here, and I want to thank you all for listening. We will be back soon. And we are back, guys. Before we end the show this morning, we have one more thing we want to talk about, which is the Alva All School reunion that is fastly approaching. It is coming up next weekend. So Terry's going to share a little bit of information about the Alva All School reunion.
The Alba All School Reunion is happening July 17th through the 20th. July 17th is a Thursday with an 8 o'clock kickoff at the Nightlight. The Nightlight is a bar and dance club that has been recently reopened by the Martin family. You should have a lot of fun out there, see some friends. Probably remember it from when you were in high school a long time ago. If you're 18 and over, that's the place to be. Then July 18th, the morning, they have a golf tournament, and I think that day is being used for a lot of classes to get together. July 19th on the square, there's at 10 a.m. there's a parade. Also, there's tours at the school, and that night, Saturday, July 19th at 8 o'clock, there's the Crazy Cool Cruise. So that's a good time. Something else, there is July 19th, there's a come and go reunion for the speech and debate. If you were in speech and debate at Alva High School, from 1 to 3, there is a come and go. It looks like it's at the high school auditorium. So that should bring back some memories for you. You should try to attend that. Let's see. If you want to be in the parade, make sure you let the Education Foundation know. There's go to their website or their Facebook page. You can sign up for that. If you've been a part of any individual class, if you have a really cool car or truck, you can ride a bicycle. Alumni cheerleaders, I think, are getting together. Alumni band members, Miss Alva representatives, homecoming royalty, and sports teams. So get in that parade. We want to see you out there. Let's see. I think if you do a search on Facebook, I did a search on Facebook for just the Alva All School Reunion, and I've seen where several class pages have come up. So check that out if you want to see if your class is doing anything. Hope to see you there. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, ma'am. Going to be a great event. The All School reunion. I want to thank the folks from the Alva Education Foundation who have spent many hours planning that event. It's something they've been working on since before 2020. Originally, it was supposed to be held then, but due to COVID, they were not able to do that. I believe it's an event they're going to do every 5 years or so. So if you want to get involved, definitely reach out to the Alva Education Foundation. A great group of people who fundraise and work to promote education in Alva. So definitely, if you're here in town, try to go to some of those events and thank them for all the work that they put into having a great reunion. Well, guys, I appreciate you tuning in and listening. It's been a good morning. I encourage everyone to have an absolutely wonderful week and do something kind for someone today and make today a great day. Guys, this has been Joe Parsons, Morning Radio on KA.